Hello, hello. This is the 176th Test from the Future, an experimental podcast from the year 2224, which we are sending from our present to yours. My name is Dirk.
And my name is Simon.
And we're putting the past in podcast. And we're saying hello, hello, slightly different today. Did you notice?
It sounded a little different, but I couldn't put my finger on how.
I'm just experimenting with different ways.
With intonation and emphasis.
But only slight, not.
Yeah.
I don't want to make too dramatic changes.
Right.
Our listeners have been getting used to.
Sure. They're comfortable with the way things are.
So just slightly changing it up. So we have another exciting episode today. And it's exciting, especially for me, because I don't know what we'll be talking about.
No, exactly. I kept it as a surprise. Like I told you, I had a thing, and we would talk about it. Or, I suggested let's talk about it on the episode. But to maintain mystery, I didn't tell you what it was.
Yeah. So I was guessing, and I'm thinking we'll be talking about the most recent episode of Mars Attacks. Am I right?
You are not right. So that's not what I intended to talk about. But I mean, that was a good episode.
Yeah. Yeah. How did you see it? Because you can't see it in
normally
Germany.
Not in Germany, not on Earth, yeah.
Yeah.
But I set my VPN to Mars. And I was able to watch it.
Okay. I watched it at Napoleon's. I don't know how he got it, so...
And hey, you don't know, you don't need to know.
Yes, exactly. Okay, but thanks for the trick. Maybe I'll try that, setting my VPN to Mars. I'm sure we'll get a lot of other cool stuff that way.
I think so.
Yeah, so
right, but the thing that I have here, if you like, you can go unveil it. I mean, I know what it is, of course. So over there on the wall, you see there's a big cloth.
It's really hard to not see, yes.
Exactly, yeah, but for our listeners, this wall that usually is always just a plain white wall, which actually I use for my projector most times. Anyway, right now, there's now this big cloth over it. So when you want, you can unveil it and maybe we'll see what happens.
I can just put it off, I won't break anything?
Yeah, no, it's all good. I rigged it up, especially.
Okay. On the left or on the right? Or does it really matter?
Doesn't matter.
Okay, let me put it here.
Hey, there you go.
Oh.
You recognise what you're looking at?
Kind of, and I can also suddenly hear it. The cloth was really...
It was sound dampening cloth.
I'm not sure the recorder is picking it up, but I hear seagulls, and I'm seeing a nice beach, I guess this is.
Some waves there, coming up and going away.
And this is the inside-facing wall.
Exactly, right, yeah, because over on the left from where we're sitting, it's a regular window looking out at the shuttle station, and this is 90 degrees from that, the wall opposite where we're sitting, exactly. On the other side of that wall, there's a bedroom.
So I know what this is. It's a portal window.
Correct. So for our listeners, we have spoken about those before?
Long ago, I guess, but maybe we can freshen the memory.
Sure, yeah. Do you want to?
No, you can do it.
Okay.
It's your thing.
It's my thing. So, as you said, when it's switched off, it looks like a window frame with nothing in there, and you can't see through to anything. And when you switch it on and activate it, it's a portal to somewhere else, usually in the world, but could even be another planet, looking out at something.
Yep.
And so maybe our listeners are thinking, that's just like a TV, or with a camera or something. But this isn't that. This is an actual physical portal. And so, for example, now, the window's open, and now that you've taken away the cloth there, we've got the ocean breeze coming in.
Yes, exactly.
And we can smell it,
Nice refreshing, because it's in the middle of summer now,
Yeah. And we should be I don't think we have to worry about any seagulls flying through the window there, but
theoretically they could.
They could, yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's what a portal window is. An actual portal in a physical way to somewhere else.
Yeah, and you have them relatively small, relatively big. I guess this is a medium-sized one. And of course, if they're the size of a normal portal, you can actually walk through. This is the window variation.
Exactly. I mean, you could just about squeeze through there, but it'd be pretty uncomfortable.
Yeah. But I mean, only for the breeze and the sound effects, it's already worthy. But you also picked a really nice
for the view.
So, is this an official location?
Yep. This is one of the defaults, I guess. Like I didn't yet. Just got it yesterday. And so at the moment I'm going through the defaults, seeing what I like, and then in the future if I want I can get some custom ones.
But it always needs to be free, right? Because it's a two-way map, like one-to-one.
Correct. So, I mean, how else would the seagulls get here if they were to fly through? So exactly. It's a one-to-one thing.
Yeah.
So on the other side, on this beach here, you know, if you were a seagull looking over, you'd see these two guys sitting at a desk recording a podcast.
You know where it's hanging? Is this hanging on a wall near the beach or on a tree, or do you know?
Actually, so that you can find that out, you get a really long stick with a mirror on the end, poke it through and look back at yourself. But I haven't done that. So
or put my face, but it's maybe a bit high for that.
I wouldn't do that. That seems... So this is actually in the user manual. You could do it. It's a bit dangerous because if there's a bug or something and the portal suddenly gets switched off while you're halfway through, you get chopped in half.
What?
So recommended to use a stick with a mirror on the end.
Yes. That's a dangerous thing you have.
I mean, that holds true for portals too, yeah? But usually with a portal, you're stepping through, you know, you're not like hanging one side, you know, looking through, you know what I mean? Yeah.
But they have safety precautions.
Of course they do.
I've never heard that.
So maybe that was, I say in the manual, someone told me that once in a bar and I remember it as truth.
Or maybe they put it in a small print just in case any of that ever happens. They're not liable.
Yeah, covering themselves.
Okay. But okay, so because I understood you can map it to like public ones, but then that's just for a limited amount of time, right? Because this location, probably everybody wants these seagulls.
Right. It's one of the defaults, of course, as well. And everyone would like to see it, so it's just a 30-minute window.
A 30-minute?
Time window. A 30-minute time window of the portal.
So was it the beach when you put the cloth on?
No.
Okay. So for you, even where it was mapped to was a bit of a surprise as well.
Yes.
So it could change while we record.
Could do while we're recording.
Okay, that would be cool. Then suddenly you hear either nothing or something else. Or
presumably not the seagulls, or at least not the very same seagulls.
Waves crushing, or you're next to a shuttle station.
I mean, I told it because it's summer here. I did say, but I said it appropriate views, you know. So we shouldn't get like inside a volcano with super hot heat blasting through.
Okay, yeah.
That's more something for the winter.
But as far as I understood, you can also map it to private camps, right? So those basically, if you know the person or you basically own the window that's somewhere else, you can map it to that one, and then you can have it permanently mapped.
Yeah. So you said the word cams, so not cams, but other people's portal windows.
Yeah.
You can for as long as short a time as you like. But anyway, that is one use for them actually to have a permanent portal to another place, especially if you have like say you lived for many years next to someone, you know, a friend, and you were neighbours, and you move away, but you really enjoyed your chats, you know, leaning through your respective windows, like talking. Yeah, you can set this up as a permanent thing. When you want to talk with your friend, you just lean out your window as you always were. Continue as you used to be in terms of speaking. Yeah,
that's cool, and you can have it permanently mapped. Although I kind of like this 30-minute rotation idea as well, so you get surprised.
Yeah, like at this particular time of day for the next hour.
Oh yeah, okay. And I guess also you can have like filters set, you know, like you said, to not get the boring locations.
Yeah.
Okay. That's pretty cool. But I'm then not putting my head or arm or anything through it.
I mean, it should be fine. I think there is like a little alarm. I think we're in the manual now. So if nothing's obstructing the window, there's no alarm. But if you're like sticking your arm out, or you know something is going between, there'll be a little alarm sound before it switches to the next portal window.
Like countdown.
What you'd hope is that it doesn't switch if there's something obstructing. But maybe then people like put something, you know, wedge something in there. Say, I'm totally. You know what I mean?
Kind of like with these revolving doors. If you don't want them.
Yeah, exactly. Wedge something in there so that it always stays set to the location you want.
Yeah.
But then maybe it detects if that thing is organic or not. You know, if you just put a block of wood, it doesn't care. But if you put like a meat popsicle. Okay, maybe it thinks that's alive.
Or just somebody comes out of a portal window next to it and kind of just pulls it out.
That's most likely.
It's like the thing where there's doors that say do not open, and then they're always cracked open to let the breeze in these kind of places. Okay. But what I noticed when I was revealing the cloth, and I didn't really pay much attention, there seemed to be like a slight seems to be something in between in your case. Is it like like a tiny screen, like a screen in between?
I see what you mean now. So sure, because it can go to other locations. It might go to a location with a whole bunch of insects, and so it's like I've got an insect screen. on the
That's what it is.
Yeah. So, seagulls, they're pretty big, they probably bust straight through it, but this stops insects.
You see, because what I was contemplating is not putting my arm through it, but maybe like toss a ball through it or something.
I mean,
like that.
it's an interesting, you can open it.
Okay, so it's not fixed.
Yeah, no, I mean,
it's
attached, but you can slide it aside. Or
Okay, cool. Because then I was thinking if you have a second one.
I don't.
But if I did, exactly. But if you would have a second one,
play catch with yourself.
Yeah. Play catch with yourself. I was thinking play catch with a friend.
I mean, you can do that too, but that's the thing that's not strictly speaking what you need a portal window for.
No.
To be fair, you can bounce a ball off a wall and also play catch with yourself, but that's not really catch.
No.
That's more like squash or something. But with two portal windows, you can throw it through one, and have it come out the other.
You would even see yourself sitting, so you could aim at yourself, and you see on the other window, you see yourself throwing the ball at you. I was thinking of a friend. You can map it to their apartment, but you can basically.
It gets a little tricky because people are used to seeing. We're all used to seeing ourselves in mirrors, or on a screen through a cam. It's pretty weird to actually see another. It is you. It's not like a duplicate or anything like that. It's just you. But to see yourself from outside is a bit strange.
I'm imagining squash in a room full of portal windows. The whole wall covered in portal windows that are all mapping to the room that you're in. Floor to top.
Yeah.
And all mapping to one of the random ones distributed across the room.
I was going to say, so where does it come out? Okay, that's the random thing.
So you can basically smash the squash ball in any direction, and it's going to come back at you from another random direction. You don't really. If slightly to the left, it enters another window. It comes up from the ceiling. So.
Yeah. So for me, that sounds chaotic. For yourself, intriguing.
It also sounds chaotic.
Yeah.
But somehow, this is something probably you would enjoy that for 5 minutes, but the whole idea I like.
Yeah.
It's probably not what they're really intended for, but I think it would work. So you were talking about the screen before, right? Can you switch them off?
Yeah, there's an off button, of course.
Okay.
Just switch it off.
What do you see when you switch it off?
Should we do it now?
Sure.
If you go over there, you can just switch off and you'll see what you see.
Okay.
I described it a little bit earlier for our listeners, but it makes sense for you to actually see it. Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just the wall.
It's transparent. So there's the screen and then there's the wall.
Correct.
Okay, I'm putting it back on now.
Yeah. Just for our listeners, screen not as in like a electronic display, but screen as in an insect screen. Yeah. Like a fine mesh, basically. Fine mesh to stop.
But it keeps it's still the same location as before, right?
Yep.
Okay. Do they come with curtains?
They don't come with curtains. I have ordered some. Should come in the next couple of days because I figure when it's off like that, like you saw, it's a window frame with an insect screen and then just the regular wall behind it. Looks a bit funny, so I figured to have curtains that I draw across it. Okay,
and it works when it's on or off. Doesn't really matter. Okay.
Curtains, sure.
It changed. It's dark.
Oh, nighttime.
You can. You hear the crickets now. No more seagulls, now you hear crickets.
Yeah, a bit more soothing for this time of night.
That's cool. So do you know of any cool applications? Maybe not so crazy as squash, like a squash hole, but any cool applications that you've heard of? I think that's the bit that we spoke about initially, where there are places in popular rainforests or beaches that are basically full of portal windows.
Exactly. If you were there in person and you looked at like a cliffside, that the entire cliffside is portal windows.
Yeah.
And each one to many different locations. So looking at it, you would see all kinds of different rooms and different decor and people and so on and so on.
Probably all kinds of boring apartments, otherwise they wouldn't have a portal window.
Probably that too. So those places, those views are very popular. There are other ones which are less, so more niche maybe, more exclusive. Maybe they charge a higher subscription fee and so on. And then I even mentioned earlier, because it's the summertime, I'm getting the cooler weather coming through.
Yeah.
That's a pretty obvious use for it. In the winter, maybe have some nice hot air from the Sahara coming through.
That's pretty smart. So if it's hot inside your apartment, you can just basically change your apartment temperature, or you can have a portal window mapping to the Arctic.
Yep. It's a little tricky with that because it sounds like it. So yes, and I do, and people do, and it needs to be controlled. That's the bit with the time, because if you have like half the world doing that, okay, your apartment gets cooler, but that means all the heat from all these apartments is going to the Arctic, messing with the local ecosystem, stuff like that.
Yeah, it's like overall that doesn't really help. Huh?
Yeah, so it needs to be balanced, and it is balanced,
Okay, yeah.
But that's why for some of them also there's that 30-minute time window.
Because
more people want it than it's practical for everyone to actually have it at the same time.
And also maybe for some locations they have a limit per se of how often this can be mapped to. Okay, maybe you get some really exclusive, like one location just has half an hour a day and you just get lucky to get that. We were talking before about mapping into your friend's place to toss a ball around. I'm thinking there might also be an idea there, right? If you share a portable window with a friend.
Like cooking food for each other, you mean? And passing things back and forth? Or?
No, I was really... How about you face the outside and across the street is another apartment, but on the outside wall of that apartment is a portable window that maps to your friend's place.
Yeah.
And then you can both hang out of the window and have a conversation across the street.
That's exactly what I was talking about earlier.
Okay, that's what you meant.
That's what I meant. Sorry, were you thinking I meant like, okay, we've got this board window, and it would just be rather like as if you were a window between two rooms, yeah? You wouldn't even see the outside, like the sky. You would just have a window between two rooms, put your elbow on the window ledge and talk. No, I was meaning like what you just described, which is you do have, so I'm looking out onto a street, they're looking out onto a street, and we can see each other across. Street maybe is too wide, but across some land, basically, between the two of us. Have the sky, the weather, and all that good stuff.
I think that's great.
Yeah.
Any other interesting applications?
Presumably innumerous ones, none of which are coming to mind.
I was thinking if you have kids.
Oh, indeed.
And they... And they go play somewhere around the world. Like if it's, hey, mom, dad, we'll be in Nepal for half an hour, play with friends. Okay, so they take a teleporter, go play in the fields of Nepal. As a parent, maybe, you kind of want to have a, of course you can call them and so on. Yeah. But you can just have
check the cams.
Exactly, but you can also have just a portable window where you can just hang out of the window saying, hey, dinner's ready, or, be home before sunset.
Yeah, that, and also just keep an eye, like not a weird, creepy eye on them, but just in the sense of, okay, they're playing down there in a meadow or whatever, there's up at the top of a hill, there's this portal window looking down, so you can just glance over and see, they're not being eaten by saber-toothed tigers right now, so it's fine.
Yeah, or just when you made some lemonades, like you just hang it through the window, hey, here's some lemonade.
Yep.
You can't do that with a camera.
No.
Okay, cool. Well, really nice that you have one. And
maybe I will get a second one at some point to play catch with myself.
And if you come up with any interesting ideas that we didn't mention yet, we can come back to this topic.
Can do.
All right. We also have a listener question.
We do. Let me read it and you give an answer.
Sure.
Okay. So Karl asked, hey guys, have you 21st century people figured out how dinosaurs got extinct? I'm a bit of a dinosaur fan. That's why I'm asking. Cheers.
Yeah. We picked this listener question.
Yes,
because we really got a good grasp on how to figure things out.
Right. There was, yeah.
And when I'm saying we,
humanity in general, not us two.
We weren't involved, but at least we knew that this was being attempted. So what they did is they resurrected a dinosaur. So not recreate.
Not all dinosaurs.
No, exactly. So and also not recreated it like most of the dinosaurs that we have nowadays. So
this is more like Sponsianus.
Yeah, exactly.
So I guess we had many episodes ago, Roman Emperor, and he was resurrected.
Yeah.
Meaning it wasn't just his physical body, but it was also all his memories.
Yeah, exactly.
His experiences.
So we also did that with one particular dinosaur.
Yep.
Turns out it wasn't sentient.
No, not back then.
So then we made it sentient, and then we could have a conversation with it.
Turns out his name's Bob.
Yeah, exactly. Enough. Bob the dinosaur. And then Bob was sentient now, but didn't have any sentient memories. Yeah. So it just had some vague memories or running after food, and that's about it.
Yeah.
So when they started asking questions about, hey, how did you guys get extinct?
Did you notice the climate changing, or was it like was there a meteor?
Did you have a lot of volcanoes erupt, or was
there any
everybody
time
sick?
travelers coming and hunting you?
Exactly. Were there glass splinters raining from the sky? No memory of any of that.
No.
Just remember chasing after food, and that's about it.
Yeah. And just to be clear, this was so Bob was resurrected from a DNA sample found from the exact point, or at least as near as made sense to think should be a dinosaur that could have known.
Exactly. It's from the layer from 65 billion years ago.
Yeah.
That's the last, let's say the youngest.
Billion years ago or millions of years ago?
Millions, depending on your language.
There we go.
A long time ago.
Okay,
yeah. So Karl have an answer. We tried. Yeah, we did really try to figure things out, but have gotten nowhere closer to the actual answer.
Right, not definitively.
Yeah. All right.
Mm-hmm. So our listeners, like Karl wrote to us there, please write to us at michaellasagna5@gmail.com. Put the number 176, it's the number of this episode, in the subject line. If you have any questions, feel free to ask those too. That way we'll know this episode successfully went back in time. And hey, if you have any suggestions for cool applications for the portal window, give us some ideas too.
All right, then thanks Karl, thanks everybody else for listening, and see you in 200 Cheers.
Bye-bye.